The triangle principle. The only way to have the closest, most loving, enduring, bonded, and bound relationship that is possible at this time in this place. Hopefully, you have heard of this before, and this is not a new thing to you. Um, Hopefully, it's just a refresher and a reminder. If not, please listen carefully and take notes. Let's start with a couple scriptures. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 6. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 6. Matthew 19 and verse 6. Now let's start in verse 5. And said, this is Jesus speaking, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain, two, shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. What God has joined, let not man separate. What God has joined. What God. So the first idea is that it is God who joins. God is the number one spot of the triangle. That's the first thing. God joins you together. It's not a man-made thing, not our own idea, not our own will, but God joins us together. Okay, that's what a marriage is. Next, turn to John chapter 13 and verse 34. John chapter 13 and verse 34. Jesus speaking again, and he says, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. As I have loved you, you love one another just the same. You love one another as I have loved you. The point here is that Jesus, is our example. God is our example on what it means to love someone. And Jesus said, greater love hath no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. Self-sacrificial love is true love. That's what love really is. Not what the world calls love, which is usually lust, selfish. I want you right now. You make me feel good. You know, that's what it is. I desire you. I desire you. I want you. And then at some point, somebody else comes along that maybe is a younger, newer model, and you say, okay, now I want them. Now they make me feel good and you don't, so I'm going to leave you and go with them. But that's not real love. Real love isn't about ourselves, and it isn't about what makes us feel best or what is best for us. Real love is desiring the very best for someone else. Even being willing to die, to give your life for theirs, right? Real love is something you see more commonly between parents and children. 50% of marriages end in divorce today, right? Over 50%. And that's in the secular world and in the church. Not so with parenting. How often do you see a parent say, well, that's it. I am so frustrated with this kid that I'm just going to go ahead and give him up for adoption. I'm sick of this. You go your way, I'll go mine, and that'll be it. No, because that's not love. It's not how love works. It's not based on emotions, on feelings. Any parent can tell you that it's not always, oh, my sweet little baby, I love you so much. Sometimes it's pulling your hair out, wanting to scream into a pillow, kind of exasperating emotionally to try to steer and guide and direct these kids and do what's best for them. So, God. And then there's you and your spouse. Okay, there's the triangle. And here's how it works. God joins you together, right? Right. And God is our example in how to love. The more we are like God, the more loving we will be. So the closer you get to God, both of you, the closer you are to each other. You see how that works? So here's God, and here's you and your spouse. Now you've gotten closer to God. This distance has gone down. And as you've moved closer to God, you've gotten closer to each other. So this distance has gone down. The closer you get to God, the closer you get to each other. And also, the reverse is true. The further that you move away from God, the further you are moving away from each other. Understand? You seeing the principle there? Close to God equals close to each other. Now here's the deal. Eventually, it should be like this. You have gotten so close to God, both of you, that there is nothing between you. You are connected to God. And in being connected to God, you are also connected to each other. That is the closest relationship, and that is what we're aiming for. That is our goal. Every day, we should be drawing closer to God, which will bring us closer to each other. And we get closer and closer and closer until finally we are in this perfect union of God and us and our spouse. Or you could even say, your neighbor, other people. The closer you get to God, the closer you will be getting to other people. And that works even if, well, let's just not go into that, but that's the idea, okay? The closer you get to God, the closer you will get to your spouse or to your fellow man, okay? That's it. That is the triangle principle. And so I encourage you to pray together, to study together, to have daily devotionals together, to surrender your lives to God together. That doesn't take the place of personal prayer alone with just you and God, and personal study where it's just you and God, but also have a family devotional or a friend's devotional with somebody that you're courting for marriage, that you're interested in spending the rest of your life together with. Draw close to God together, and as you both draw closer to God, you will get closer and closer to each other. Okay, this is the idea. This is what we're going for: closer to God, closer to each other. I wish that I had the verse, but somewhere in the book of Proverbs, and I wish I'd looked this up, it talks about how a cord with two strands is strong, but a threefold cord is not easily broken. It talks about how if you're by yourself, right? If you're just a string by yourself, then it's pretty easy for that string to snap. But if it's you and your spouse together, that's a stronger cord, and it's got a little bit more strength before it snaps. But it is breakable. Apparently a little over 50% breakable. But it says a 3-fold cord is not easily broken. That is some strength going on right there. Very strong, very hard to break apart. And look that up in the book of Proverbs. A 3-fold cord is not easily broken. So that's it. Also in the book of Proverbs, it says 2 are better than 1, for if one falls, then the other can help him up. You understand? That's why 2 is better than 1, but a 3-fold cord is not easily broken. Okay? All in the book of Proverbs, the book of wisdom. And God said that it is not good for man to dwell alone. It's not good for man to be alone. God didn't make us to be alone. Now, some people, not everyone is going to be married. Some people are going to be single for their lives, and that's just, for whatever reason, that's just the path that they're going to be going down. But even if that's the path they go down and they're not married, well then still, it's still not good for man to be alone. So you better have Christian friends and family in your life that you're close to, because it's still not good for man to dwell alone. So be close to a group of Christians that can help each other and encourage each other and edify each other and be there for each other, to point each other back to the Lord. Okay? That's it. God bless you.